Hi, my name is William Hall, and I did my speech on my grandpa. When my grandpa used to come and visit when I was a child, he would always comment on the planes in the sky and how they were lined up ready to land. He would say each plane would end up following the same path to land, much like stages in life. Everybody goes through certain stages in life similar to each other to accomplish their goals. My grandpa's life is a perfect example of this plane scenario. William Sweeney was a hard-working man who provided for his family and lived an extraordinary life. Today I will discuss my grandpa's life, which started in Wisconsin. First, I will talk about how he joined the Navy and his struggles with illness. Then I'll address his family life. Following that, I will cover his move to Oregon and his career choices there. Lastly, I will talk about retiring and his battle with emphysema. William's adult life started off like many men back in the 1940s with the military. William joined the Navy in the 1940s. He was a medic in the Navy. When he was in the Navy, he worked on a hospital ship. His official title was pharmacist mate. He enjoyed being on the ship and helping others. According to my Aunt Ann, he was forced to use dirty needles and supplies due to limitations, according to my Aunt Ann Reasoner. This was common back then, although he didn't like it. My aunt spoke about the type of force he needed to use to have these needles actually work in their patients because they were so dull from being used several times. William ended up with permanent hearing damage because of the bombs and grenades. He was then forced to use hearing aids. This was something I remember from being around him when I was a child as well. While he was in the Navy, he contracted rheumatic fever. He was hospitalized for over 4 months. According to my Aunt Ann, they offered him a medical discharge, but he refused and returned to ship. He then proceeded to continue to be in the Navy for a total of 2.5 years. William enjoyed being in the Navy and serving his country. After leaving the Navy, he met his lifelong partner, Joyce. William married Joyce when he was 24 years old. They had 6 children together and 2 miscarriages. They had each child about 2 years apart, ranging about 12 years. Their children's names are Anne, Patty, Mary, Danny, Tom, and Jim. All children are currently still living. They raised their children in a small town that William loved, Medford, Wisconsin. In Medford at the time, factories had closed and work was hard to find according to the Wisconsin Historical Society. According to my Aunt Ann, the town they lived in was very small. She also spoke about all the taverns that were in the middle of town. Drinking at these taverns was a common thing back then. Life took a different turn when William's oldest child, Anne, became pregnant, which was unheard of. Since times were tough for jobs in Medford and they were faced with the unplanned pregnancy, they decided to move to Eugene, Oregon. According to Anne, William blamed the pregnancy on the bar town they lived in, and they needed a change of pace, according to Ann Reasoner. William and Joyce built the beginning of their life together in Wisconsin, but moved to Oregon to have a fresh start with his career in life. Moving to Oregon was hard for William. He enjoyed the weather in Wisconsin and had a hard time transitioning to the rainy days of Oregon. This did not make the move easy for him or the family. He also had to support 6 kids while his wife stayed at home and took care of them. He worked 3 jobs to support his family. The first job he worked was at the post office, where he would later retire from. The other 2 jobs were side jobs just to make ends meet: gas station cleaner and a grave digger. The first one was at the gas station, cleaning nights and on the weekends. His last job was digging graves. He would use a shovel to dig these graves. He would get paid for each grave that he dug. The kids would help with the jobs on their weekends. During my interview with my Aunt Ann, she told me about the times he would let the kids come to help clean the gas station with him. While they were there, they could pick out a treat. She said this was fun for them. My Aunt Ann also said that they would go to go and have picnics at the graveyard on the weekends to keep him company and to spend time with him. Joyce was able to stay home and take care of her family because William was such a hard worker. Although Joyce got to stay home for most of the children's childhood, she returned to work when Anne was old enough to help out. She worked at the University of Oregon. In my interview, Anne spoke about helping cook dinner and making sure everything was ready when Mom and Dad got off work, according to Anne. Although moving to Oregon was hard for William, Joyce and him were able to build their lives together there. After living in the same house since moving to Oregon, William was able to retire. After numerous years of working at the post office, he was able to retire comfortably in Oregon. He loved gardening in his backyard and enjoyed time outside. Joyce and William were able to maintain their house with the help of their children that also lived close by. Joyce still lives in the same house today. Having family nearby was something that was important to both of them. William was an avid smoker and suffered the consequences later in life. Although he knew what would happen if he continued to smoke, it was a battle for him. When William was growing up and raising a family, smoking was common. He was diagnosed with emphysema and had several complications before passing away years later. Emphysema is when the air sacs in your lungs are slowly destroyed, according to the Mayo Clinic in 2011. When he was diagnosed with emphysema, Joyce took care of him. Emphysema affected the oxygen that reaches your bloodstream and makes it hard to breathe, according to the Mayo Clinic. These types of symptoms make it hard for William to do his usual activities around the house and needed help on a daily basis. She was always looking out for his well-being and making sure he was comfortable. William led a life of ups and downs, but was able to accomplish the American dream. Today I shared with you William's life in the Navy, his family life, his career, and the move to Oregon, and his retirement and sickness. Like planes ready to land, we each have steps and goals in life to accomplish. My grandpa was able to live a great life by working hard and keeping his eyes on his goals.